We're going to shift gears now to the population of elderly in our county. This has to do with nursing homes. And Paul, you have the first shot at this question. Many of the residents in Henderson County nursing homes are from South Carolina, often on Medicaid. That is because North Carolina pays more Medicaid than South Carolina. So corporations do not build in South Carolina. However, once here, they become residents quickly, and North Carolina taxpayers are picking up the tab for people who don't even want to be here. If we can't make a change back to South Carolina, which the feds may not permit, would you try to increase the length of time required before someone could be considered resident? If not, why not? It took me a minute to read that. So now,
your time is up.
My time is up. Chargeback. I'm sorry. Okay. Would you be? I'm sorry. Would be a chargeback. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. All right. Is that clear? If we can't make a charge back to South Carolina, which the feds may not permit, would you try to increase the length of time required before someone could be considered resident? If not, why not? Thank you.
Yes, we need to do something. And Medicaid and fraud in Medicaid is not the only area that type of thing is happening. It's happening in insurance, in a number of areas where people from other states come into our state because our state is very attractive in this regard. And so I absolutely, to answer that question, I absolutely would endorse finding ways to stop this kind of fraud for all people who come in here to take advantage of our system and our rules and our generosity. So that's my answer. Yes, I absolutely would endorse finding ways to stop that. Increased length of time it takes to become a citizen in the state is part of that. There's obviously there's caveats with something like that. It might hurt college students who are trying to establish residence, but there has to be a way to deal with a situation like that. And I would be in favor of it.
Thank you. Mr. Geis?
I didn't expect that question, and I really don't know how to answer the question. Again, this is one that I think, after reviewing the information and studying the issue, that I would make a very difficult decision, tough decision. But it's one that there's a lot of ramifications if you're just going to indicate that yes, you'll do something without knowing fully the ramifications of that. And I will answer. We talk about elderly and retirees. There are some areas that I most definitely in 30 seconds can handle. One is I think we need to increase the deduction for private pension income in North Carolina. I can talk to you about that all day. Repeal the state death tax and repeal the gift tax. Repealing those taxes would have a major impact on our elderly and retirees in our community, a very positive impact.
Thomas?
When you're talking about Medicare or Medicaid, you're talking about a national problem, not just a state problem. And if you look at what the national government's doing right now with I think they're calling it a $12 trillion deficit, if the federal government wanted to, they could start working with the states and get this health care disaster we've got going on under control. And right now it is not under control. The states cannot do it all by themselves. It ought to be fair and equitable in the United States for health care, not just from state to state.
Representative Justice.
This is one area that Republicans in Raleigh have tried to change for a number of years. We learned that people would cross the line into Macon County because that's right on the line. Actually go to a gas station, phone booth, and make calls to nursing homes and call back to Georgia or South Carolina and say, yeah, they got a bed here, bring them on. Now, that's bad. And we tried and tried to change that. Matter of fact, Debbie Clary from Rutherfordton has done the bill over and over. We've always been told that Medicaid won't let us, but I would certainly be willing to see if we could get a Medicaid waiver, because it's just not right. We need to care for our people.
The next question is directed specifically to Representative Justice. The question says, why won't you present the Etowah Incorporation packet to the legislature?
Why won't I?
That's what it says. I'm reading the question.
Well, there is no Etowah Incorporation packet ready to give to the legislature at this time. I'm almost absolutely sure. The committee presents the package to the Incorporation Committee, and that doesn't run with the General Assembly. It runs sort of aside from the General Assembly. They have to meet all the rules and requirements in there before it is even brought to us as a bill. Probably yes.
Would you care to respond to that, Mr. Holden?
I have nothing to say. I have no knowledge.